this for me is a sort of genesis of this whole project, was that I cycle up Railton Road pretty much every day of my life on the way to Brockwell Lido, and the Shakespeare Road and this whole area was laid out in the late Victorian mostly era, between four stations at the time: Brixton, Herne Hill, Loughborough, and the now closed East Brixton station. It was Shakespeare Road is immortalised as Bard Road in Angela Carter's Wise Children, because prior to the squatters, prior to the Caribbean community, Brixton was the nearest thing we've ever had in this country to a theatrical ghetto. John Major's father lived down the road on Cold Harbour, and Wild West entrepreneur Buffalo Bill lived up on Water Lane. So this was a pivotal point on Shakespeare Road. Also, the Black Panther UK headquarters were formerly on Shakespeare Road. The other thing I'd like to discuss is the influence of the squats, because in many ways they disappeared. They were erased from history, and people moved on and lived their lives. And yeah, I do think they had a legacy beyond their time. They're certainly part of the alliance that Ken Livingstone formed with the GL. What was the GLC at the time, when he was on the Lambeth Labour Council? He admired the Brixton Fairies and their organisational ability. He really admired Race Today and how they got things done, and the feminists, and this kind of rainbow coalition that he pulled together when he came into City Hall. He set up a lot of initiatives around racial identity, around sexual politics, around feminism, and fed it into the Inner London Education Authority, which had resources for the first time on these subjects. It was part of the reason Margaret Thatcher abolished the GLC, is that this monstrous alliance of women and gays and blacks were challenging the orthodoxy, which makes it very current for today with the identity politics today. But also that to me is a legacy not just obviously of these squats, but it's certainly the first time that Ken Livingstone came across these potential alliances as a Lambeth councillor at the time. So I do think there is a carry through on that, and obviously Peter and Jonathan still live here, who've been on this tour, and they're living here, and it's helped their lives being a part of that. So I do think there's a legacy, but at the same time, as you've seen on this tour, it's a really banal, mundane suburban street in South London with very little to recommend it, except this marvellous past and all these stories that are behind the doors.